10 countries that won't welcome Canadians in 2024. Canadians are often known for their friendliness, politeness, and easygoing nature. However, you might be surprised to learn that not every country welcomes these gentle souls with open arms. While having a Canadian passport offers many advantages for international travel, there are certain destinations where Canadians aren't received as warmly as one might expect. What could cause challenges for Canadians wanting to visit these nations, and why do these countries have such restrictive policies? In today's video, we'll walk you through the top 10 countries where Canadians might face difficulties entering in 2024. It's not just about visas or legal issues. There are deeper reasons tied to politics, culture, and diplomatic tensions. If you're Canadian or hold a Canadian passport, this video will be crucial and fascinating for you to watch from start to finish. We'll help you understand each country, why they don't welcome Canadian visitors, and what you need to know if you still decide to visit. Without further ado, let's dive into this surprising list. Number 10. Saudi Arabia. Located in the land of ancient traditions and strong cultural values, Saudi Arabia presents significant challenges for Canadians. With its strict Islamic laws, traveling here requires thorough preparation, especially in adhering to rules regarding dress and public behavior. For instance, women in Saudi Arabia are required to wear an abaya when outside and cover their hair in certain areas, something many Western tourists are not accustomed to. Displays of affection, such as holding hands or kissing in public, are also prohibited. Another factor making travel to Saudi Arabia difficult is its highly strict legal system. Alcohol consumption is completely banned, and even possession can lead to severe penalties. Additionally, there are stringent laws regarding interactions between unmarried individuals of the opposite sex. These cultural and legal differences make Saudi Arabia one of the most challenging countries for Canadians to visit. Diplomatic relations between Canada and Saudi Arabia have also been strained, particularly following a diplomatic spat in 2018 when Canada criticized the human rights situation in Saudi Arabia. This created a tense atmosphere, affecting how Saudi citizens perceive Canadian visitors. Despite these challenges, Saudi Arabia boasts spectacular Islamic architecture and priceless historical sites, from Mecca to Medina, areas reserved only for Muslims. If you're willing to face the challenges, prepare thoroughly, and respect the cultural rules, this country could offer unforgettable experiences, from admiring ancient monuments to immersing yourself in a deeply traditional culture. Number 9. Iran. Iran, a country rich in historical beauty and culture, offers an unforgettable journey for those eager to explore humanity's great past. However, Iran's complex political and social landscape makes travel there a tricky option for Canadians. Iran is home to traces of the Great Persian Empire, with incredible archaeological sites and bustling bazaars. However, visitors must be mindful of the current political situation. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979, relations between Iran and Western countries, including Canada, have become tense. Diplomatic and political issues can influence how Canadian tourists are perceived and treated. Adhering to cultural and dress code rules is also mandatory. Women visiting Iran must wear headscarves and dress modestly in public. Moreover, public behavior and social interactions between unmarried individuals of the opposite sex are strictly regulated. Failing to comply with these regulations can lead to unexpected troubles. Even so, Iran still offers experiences that are hard to find anywhere else. You can lose yourself in ancient temples, visit vibrant bazaars, and admire a rich culture of art and poetry. For those who are well prepared and respectful of this unique culture, Iran opens up a world of impressive and precious experiences not found in typical tourist destinations. Number 8. Egypt. Egypt, the land of the pharaohs and magnificent wonders, takes travelers on a journey back in time to ancient civilizations. However, for Canadian tourists, not everything in Egypt is a nostalgic glimpse into history. Behind the Great Pyramids and ancient temples are significant political and cultural challenges that Canadians need to navigate. The political situation in Egypt is often unstable, with protests and unrest occurring at popular tourist sites, raising safety concerns for visitors. This requires careful planning, staying updated on the latest information, and knowing which areas to avoid. A particular challenge in Egypt is the strict rules around photography. Taking photos near military areas, bridges, or train stations can land you in serious trouble, such as detention. Moreover, public criticism of the government or political situation is not a wise move, as it can lead to legal issues. In addition, Canadians should be wary of scams targeting tourists and remain vigilant about security measures, especially as terrorism remains a concern in some areas. Bureaucratic and visa-related issues can also be a hassle, requiring travelers to understand and follow local regulations to ensure a smooth trip. Despite these challenges, the reward of visiting Egypt is enormous. Immersing yourself in human history, from the majestic pyramids of Giza to the vibrant and colorful bazaars of Cairo, offers experiences that are second to none. You'll have the chance to explore one of the richest cultural heritages in the world, something that books and films cannot fully capture. With careful planning and an openness to Egypt's unique cultural atmosphere, the journey will be worth every effort. Number 7. India. India, a world of vibrant colors and diversity, where cultures, languages, and traditions intertwine, offers Canadian tourists a one-of-a-kind experience. From bustling cities to ancient temples, India is a place where you can immerse yourself in a kaleidoscope of culture and fascinating historical tales. However, for Canadians, India brings not only opportunities for personal growth, but also significant challenges, particularly in terms of politics and strict legal regulations. When visiting disputed areas like Jammu and Kashmir, the situation can quickly become tense, and Western influence is often viewed with suspicion. Travelers must closely monitor political developments and avoid areas prone to unrest. Additionally, some border regions are considered sensitive security zones, with strict regulations on access. Visa issues are another crucial factor that travelers need to be aware of when visiting India. Strict compliance with visa conditions is a must to avoid unwanted legal complications. Overstaying your visa can result in hefty fines or even deportation. Always ensure your travel documents are in order to prevent any unnecessary problems. Public behavior and social relationships in India are also quite different from Canada. For example, public displays of affection, commonplace in Canada, may be seen as inappropriate in many parts of India. Additionally, when visiting temples and religious sites, it is essential to follow dress codes. Respecting local customs and traditions will ensure a comfortable and safe experience. Despite the challenges, India is a rewarding destination. With thorough preparation and respect for local rules, Canadian travelers can enjoy a rich journey, from exploring historical monuments to participating in vibrant cultural festivals. Traveling through India will give you a deeper understanding of one of the world's most diverse nations, where ancient traditions and modernity merge into a unique identity like no other. Number 6. Venezuela. Venezuela, a country once seen as a gem of Latin America, has now become one of the most challenging destinations for Canadian travelers. Political instability and severe economic decline in recent years have turned this country into a complex and dangerous environment for tourists. Once one of the wealthiest nations in the region due to its vast oil resources, Venezuela is now grappling with a severe economic crisis and social tensions. Diplomatic tensions between Canada and Venezuela also pose a significant hurdle for Canadians wishing to visit. Canada has repeatedly criticized the Venezuelan government over human rights and democracy issues, straining relations between the two nations. This not only complicates the visa process, but can also affect the safety of Canadian tourists, who may be viewed unfavorably by locals. Additionally, The economic crisis has made travel in Venezuela a tough experience. Hyperinflation complicates every transaction, forcing travelers to carry large amounts of cash. The shortage of basic supplies like food, water, and medical services is another serious concern. In this environment, ensuring your safety and having contingency plans are critical. Venezuela requires thorough preparation and a deep understanding of local conditions. It would be wise to connect with locals or experienced guides to help navigate this challenging environment. Even so, Venezuela remains a country with stunning landscapes, from pristine beaches to tropical rainforests. Those brave enough to face these challenges will have the opportunity to gain insight into a country full of contradictions and resilience, offering perspectives that ordinary travel experiences cannot provide. Number 5. Turkey. Turkey, a crossroads between East and West, is a nation with one of the richest histories and cultures in the world. Here, you can witness ancient ruins, immerse yourself in the bustling life of modern cities, but at the same time, face a challenging political environment. For Canadian tourists, Turkey offers a rich journey, but one that comes with its fair share of complexities, especially amid recent political upheaval. In recent years, Turkey has experienced significant political changes, with major shifts in internal governance and its relationships with Western nations, including Canada. The Turkish government has tightened its control over media and public expression, creating a politically sensitive atmosphere, particularly during election periods or times of unrest. Canadian visitors need to remain cautious and keep informed to avoid unpredictable situations. One important aspect to consider when traveling to Turkey is its strict legal system. Actions that may be considered freedom of speech in Canada can result in serious legal consequences in Turkey. Defamation laws against the government are enforced strictly, and public protests are limited. This means Canadian visitors must be cautious about what they say and do to avoid getting into trouble. Additionally, traveling near the borders with Syria and Iraq is another issue to keep in mind. Security measures have been heightened, and the administrative complexities can affect your travel plans. It's best to avoid sensitive border areas and stay updated with travel advisories from reliable sources. Despite these challenges, Turkey remains a fascinating destination. From ancient sites like Ephesus to the lively bazaars and vibrant streets of Istanbul, this country offers a deep cultural and historical experience that is hard to pass up. If you approach the journey with caution and respect for local customs, Turkey is sure to become one of the most memorable travel experiences of your life. Number 4. Russia. Russia, a vast country with a mix of majestic landscapes and a long, complex history, is also one of the most challenging destinations for Canadian tourists. With a complicated political backdrop and tense relations with Western nations, especially Canada, traveling in Russia requires caution and a deep understanding of local conditions. The geopolitical tensions mean Canadian visitors must be mindful of every detail, from behavior to legal formalities, to avoid unnecessary trouble. One of the major challenges of traveling to Russia is adhering to strict visa regulations. The visa application process is not straightforward, requiring detailed documentation and strict adherence to guidelines. Once in Russia, visitors must register with local authorities, particularly if they plan to stay for an extended period or travel between cities. Failure to comply with these rules can lead to severe consequences, such as fines, detention, or even deportation. Russia's legal system is also known for being highly rigid. Activities that might be considered normal in Canada, such as participating in protests or expressing political views, could be deemed illegal in Russia. As such, Canadian visitors must be extremely cautious in communication and behavior, ensuring they understand the current laws and regulations to avoid unnecessary complications. Moreover, recent international events, including accusations of espionage and political disputes, have heightened sensitivities regarding Canadians in Russia. Travelers should be discreet in conversations and avoid sensitive topics to prevent misunderstandings. Respectful communication with Russian locals and a solid understanding of the culture will help ensure a smoother experience. Despite the challenges, Russia remains a cultural treasure trove, with historic cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, as well as the wild, untamed beauty of Siberia. Those willing to face the complexities and prepare thoroughly will be rewarded with a rich cultural experience and unforgettable moments. Proper preparation, respect for local laws, and an open mind are the keys to a successful trip to Russia. Number 3. North Korea. North Korea, one of the most isolated nations in the world, also presents a mysterious and challenging destination for Canadian tourists. With its tightly controlled policies and unique political system, traveling in North Korea is unlike any other experience in the world. Every aspect of the trip is supervised and regulated by the government, from your tour itinerary to interactions with locals. The biggest difference when traveling to North Korea is that you cannot explore freely as you would in other countries. All tours must be arranged through government-approved tour companies. State guides will accompany you throughout the trip, ensuring you stick to the planned itinerary and preventing any unauthorized contact with locals. This level of supervision is designed to maintain the government's tight control over what tourists can see and share. Understanding and adhering to North Korea's strict rules is crucial for every traveler. Actions that might be considered normal elsewhere, such as taking photos or discussing politics, could be prohibited or heavily restricted in North Korea. Before arriving, tourists receive detailed instructions on what is and isn't allowed. Any violation could lead to serious consequences, including detention or expulsion from the country. Though the rules are stringent, North Korea still offers visitors a unique glimpse into a culture deeply shaped by its political ideology. Major events and landmarks such as the Grand Mass Games, an extravagant display of artistic performance, or the imposing statues like the Mansudae Grand Monument in Pyongyang showcase the strength and unity of the nation. Traveling to North Korea is not an ordinary trip, but a challenging journey that requires strict adherence to regulations. However, for those willing to experience something different, it's a rare opportunity to explore a society unlike any other in the world. Proper preparation, cultural and political awareness, and respect for the rules are essential for a safe and memorable trip to this enigmatic country. Number 2. Cuba. Cuba, a country known for its stunning beaches, colorful streets, and rich Latin American culture, has always been an attractive destination. However, for Canadian travelers, exploring this island comes with its fair share of unique challenges. Economic sanctions and restricted internet access are major factors that can affect your experience when visiting Cuba. Due to these sanctions, Cuba faces severe shortages of resources and services. The dual currency system in Cuba can be confusing for those unfamiliar with it, and access to basic goods is not always guaranteed. This makes travel more complicated, from shopping for daily necessities to finding reliable services. Travelers to Cuba should be prepared for these economic challenges and have contingency plans in place to avoid unexpected situations. Accessing the internet in Cuba is also a significant issue. Wi-Fi is only available in limited areas, and using it requires purchasing access cards with slow speeds and limited bandwidth. This can disrupt communication with family or work while you're in Cuba, which may not be ideal for some visitors. In addition, travelers should exercise caution regarding political matters. The Cuban government tightly controls media and public expression, so discussing or protesting government policies can lead to serious legal consequences. Be mindful of your words and actions and respect local regulations to avoid any unwanted situations. Despite the difficulties, Cuba remains an exciting destination with a vibrant culture and a rich heritage. The music, dances, colorful colonial architecture, and impressive streets of Havana offer unforgettable experiences for visitors. If you visit Cuba with an understanding of these challenges and are well prepared, you will have the opportunity to explore a country that feels like time has stood still, where the island's unique culture remains intact over the years. Number 1. China. China, a superpower that blends modern achievements with ancient historical heritage, is a highly attractive destination for Canadian travelers. From iconic landmarks like the Great Wall of China and the Forbidden City to the modern metropolises of Shanghai and Beijing, China offers a unique and diverse travel experience. However, political sensitivities and strict regulations make traveling here a challenging endeavor for Canadians. Recent diplomatic tensions between Canada and China, particularly over trade disputes and human rights issues, have heightened the level of sensitivity in the relationship between the two nations. Canadian travelers need to be extremely cautious about their conduct and fully understand the political climate to avoid any potential trouble during their visit. One of the biggest challenges for tourists in China is the government's tight control over daily life. Internet access is heavily censored, and popular websites and apps like Google, Facebook, or Instagram may be blocked. This means that travelers need to be prepared for disruptions in communication and online activities. Additionally, actions like participating in protests or expressing political views, which are perfectly legal in Canada, can be considered violations of the law in China, leading to serious consequences. Visa requirements in China are also a significant hurdle. The application process is not only complicated, but also requires a lot of documentation and preparation time. Once in China, visitors must strictly adhere to visa conditions, including registering with local authorities to avoid fines or deportation. Despite the challenges, China is still a destination worth exploring. Its rich culture, thousands of years of history, and rapid modernization offer a unique experience for any traveler. With careful preparation and respect for local customs, Canadian travelers can have a memorable journey through this vast and fascinating country. Conclusion. So, we've come to the end of the list of 10 countries that won't welcome Canadians in 2024. What are your thoughts on these countries? Have you visited any of them before? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.